over by the bar. Flowing, not knowing where you go tomorrow. Come on, girl, give me a swing.
Late start, you know what I'm saying? Still not quite in the groove to where I'm gonna be on at the same time every day. But we gonna be on, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be on with Senator Nina Turner on Unbossed in a few hours at 4 o'clock. Other than that, it's been a great week. You know what time it is. My purple bong I still got to get some other cleaner for it. But I got this one. You know what I'm saying? This is the one we rocking out of today. I remember I showed y'all my orange one. You know what I'm saying? I may have showed y'all a long list of my pipes and my pieces. I can't recall. But anyway, today we're going to be rapping about you know who. George Santos allegedly took $3,000 from a dying dog's GoFundMe. A couple other things. They ended up putting him on a committee. George Santos, they put him on a committee. We're going to look more into Logan Paul, who responded. Well, he's been responding with several apologies and stuff for his CryptoZoo scam. However, CoffeeZilla has officially put out a video response to that. And we're going to take a look at how celebrities and influencers always try to make themselves seem like they're superhuman. Like, oh, I got here because of Tiger's blood and Mr. Beast. That's who we're going to be talking about today. I really don't have any issues with him. I don't know that much about him, but I saw an article where he was interviewing with Lex Friedman, and he basically said that he stays awake for 8 days at a time. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. No, you don't. No, you don't. We'll get into that. You know what I'm saying? Happy Wednesday, lady. Appreciate you being here with me. But you already know. Actually, I haven't smoked today either. So before we get into our good old friend George Santos and talk about it, you know, again, celebrity culture and how celebrities are always like, oh, I somehow have more than 24 hours in a day. Like, yeah, you work hard. You definitely figured out a nice formula. But you know, when motherfuckers blow up, it's because they hit the lottery. You know what I'm saying? You met the right person, right time, and shit took off. It's not because they're better than you or they have more capabilities than you. We gonna get into that. But first, matter of fact, let me start this over. This sounds like some church shit right here. You know what I mean? So if you got you some smoke or whatever, join me real quick and then we gonna get into it. Some smooth shit, ain't it? Woo! All right, now let's get into it. So, I mean, this guy, man. Man, this dude is, they're going to be pulling lies. They're going to be finding lies about this dude for the next 10 years, man. Because like I said, I mean, this is an extraordinary level of lying. So let's get into it. Not only does he lie, but he does other very mischievous things with his time. George Santos allegedly took $3,000 from a dying dog's GoFundMe. Now, if there's one way to piss off, that track that I was just listening to, it is called "If I Fall" by Sink Manny. If you go to SoundCloud and type in CD SEEDEE If I Fall, you should find it. SEEDEE If I Fall remix. But yeah, so if there's one way to really, you know, piss off America, you know what I'm saying? If there's, hey, what's going on? What up? How you doing? Appreciate you. Oh, I've been around. I just ain't on Twitter no more. But let's see. So, like I was saying, if there's one way to piss off Americans, is to, you know, mistreat dogs. It's to mistreat animals. You know, oftentimes we care about that more than we care about human lives. But this is just low down. So Santos was tapped to help a veteran whose dog needed life-saving surgery, but he allegedly disappeared with the money. This dude took 3 racks from a veteran's dying dog GoFundMe. Oh, God. George Santos allegedly took more than $3,000 from a disabled veteran who was raising money to pay for his dog's surgery. Per the report, disabled Navy veteran Richard Ossoff was raising money for his dog Sapphire back in 2016 when he was connected to Friends of Pets United, the organization that Santos led under the name of Anthony DeVolder. He led an organization under a different name. Oh my God. After Santos and Ossoff connected, Santos, who is currently facing criminal investigations for lying about his qualifications during his run for Congress, allegedly helped the veteran raise $3,000 on GoFundMe, deleted the fundraiser, and later disappeared with the money. While Santos claimed Friends of Pets United was a tax-exempt organization that he founded in 2013, the IRS could not find a record of a registered charity under that name. Of course. All right, so what did the veteran have to say? He stopped answering my texts and calls. Sharing screenshots of his Facebook posts on the matter, Ossoff explained that his dog died in 2017 without access to the life-saving treatment it needed, and that he was unable to afford euthanasia and cremation. I had to panhandle. It was one of the most degrading things I ever had to do. Jesus Christ, man. George Santos really is a low-down piece of shit. I contacted Santos and told him you're messing with a veteran and that he needed to give back the money or use it to get Ossoff another dog. He was totally uncooperative on the phone. Jesus Christ, man. So George Santos started a fraudulent fucking company that he claimed was tax exempt, but the IRS can't find the name of the charity anywhere. And he helped a disabled veteran raise $3,000 to give his dog, his beloved friend, a life-saving surgery, and then he just ran off with the money. I mean, goddamn, this guy. And like I said, if there's one way to piss off Americans is to mistreat animals. Now, I mean, he mistreated the dog, he mistreated the vet. I mean, God, this guy, this man. I mean, look at his smile, like, oh, yes. He's sick, man. This dude really is sick. I don't know what the fuck going on in his head. Like his brain is like malfunctioned and in complete reverse. You know, normal people typically tell the truth with most of what we say. You know, like I mean, we just do. Like most of what people say is the truth. But this guy's like brain just operates in a total reverse, total 180. You know, the sky's blue, he'll say it's red. He had coffee for breakfast, he'll say he drank a Gatorade. You know, like lies that you can't even fucking think, that you wouldn't even think of. That's just what George Santos does. You know what I'm saying? Like, man. And they put him on committees, which we're gonna look into. I mean, he's already said, you know, like, oh, I'm not gonna resign. Okay, man. Well, prepare for hell because his life is not going to be good in Congress. Are you kidding me? He's complete taboo. He's complete taboo. You know, not only well, you know, because in politics, you know, a lot of that's about popularity and you're a public figure. So, you know, you don't want to be all associated with disgraced people. But even beyond that, like I explained before, George Santos is, you know, he's useless. He can't even be used by Republicans because you just don't know what someone like George Santos is going to do. You know what I'm saying? Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's crazy, she's nuts, and she doesn't have any committee assignments, but she's still useful to the base because of what she parrots. But even she doesn't lie the same type of way that George Santos lies. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene is crazy. She's a true believer. Maybe she's not. But she doesn't lie about what she drank in the morning. She doesn't lie about where she went to school or where her parents grew up. Because again, shit like that's too easy to verify. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, this dude is fucking sick, man. And then again, like the dog shit. I mean, God, What type of a piece of shit do you have to be to not? And it's not even like he just ganked. It's not even like he just ganked this dude. Like he found some random veteran on the street and robbed him. It's not even like that. Because at least in that, if it was that situation, at least the fucking defense he would have going for him was, I didn't know who he was. But he knew who he was, helped him raise money, and then just flat out stole it and then ghosted him. Like, no shame. Like, this dude is, man, what are you going to do with somebody like that? And yet he has committee assignments. So let's check that out. My man's got committee assignments. George Santos, Marjorie Taylor Greene ain't even got no committee assignments. All right, let's see. George Santos. Okay, we already did that. All right. What we got? What we got? All these damn advertisements. Jesus Christ. GOP gives George Santos 2 committee assignments over fear rejecting him would set precedent. Uh-oh. What do you mean? Y'all already reject you already rejected Marjorie Taylor Greene. The fuck you talking about? Oh, we gonna listen. We gonna see what's up. But first, I'm gonna take my second hit of the day. So let me read this first. House Republicans have decided to give Rep. George Santos committee assignments, despite a lengthy and growing list of scandals and calls for him to resign, even by some fellow House GOP lawmakers, in part because they are concerned about the precedent for their own assignments it would set to give him nothing. Okay, quote, Santos on Tuesday got a seat on the House Committee on Small Business, a committee spokesperson affirmed, and a seat on the House Committee on Science, Space, and Technology, per 3 House steering committee members. According to a report from Axios, Santos has maintained that he will not give up his seat in Congress despite public pressure to do so. Well, I mean, he ain't got no shame, so. But that's the thing. He has no shame, but he is going to grow frustrated and annoyed with people hawking him all the time. Naturally, he's going to grow frustrated with it, which will therefore get him into even more, just kind of trouble, public backlash when he does inevitably say, fuck you, leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Because the people ain't going to let him live this down. Santos, a son of Brazilian immigrants and one of the only openly gay members of the House GOP, was exposed as having lied about almost every aspect of his personal biography in his campaign, from where he went to school and worked to a false claim he was a Jewish descendant of Holocaust refugees. He is also under criminal investigation for his campaign finance practices, but as of now, he has not been charged with any crime. Despite all of this, House Republicans are fearful if they cut Santos loose, the same standards could later be used to boot them off their own committees if they are ever accused of wrongdoing without immediate criminal charges. What? Are y'all? Imagine think of that about how pathetic that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that you're worried about a precedent being set with the likes of George Santos. I mean, seriously, think about that. How pathetic you must be that you're even worried about that. Okay, here we go. Concern among Republicans is that if they deny George Santos committees now, it would set a precedent for other members who are facing intense scrutiny from the press but have not been charged with a crime. Several GOP chairs have made clear they don't want him on their panels. Of course, because again, obviously this isn't all of them, because we pretty much nobody wants him there. But that's ridiculous. Like, oh, well, there may be a chance that at some point I'll be accused of some horrendous crime, just some terrible thing. And I don't want to be in the same boat as George Santos. Like, what have you people done? What the fuck skeletons are you hiding in your closet? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What up, everybody? What up, Aztec Dragon? What up, everybody? How you doing? Appreciate you being here. But again, it's like, if you go about your life in a, relatively, decent manner, if you have, a decent amount of integrity and you go about your life good, You don't really have to worry about being lumped up in the fucking same category as people like George Santos. Hold on, slow down now. Get the fuck out of here. People are ridiculous. We will find a way to make him add value, he said, adding that I don't condone what he said or what he's done. I don't think anybody does, but that's not my role. He was elected. He represents a million people. Oh, what? I mean, what's the point of your position? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't stand up to somebody like this, you can't stand up to somebody like George Santos, then who can you stand up to? What's your position? George Santos is a public disgrace. He completely lied about absolutely everything. He lied about ridiculous things. He is of use to no one. He can be trusted by no one. Again, like we know, even if you're a low down, maniacal, deceitful person, people still have to be able to trust you to carry things out, right? But you can't trust someone like George Santos because he's just so fucking off the wire. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, but I mean, lady, that's the thing. Like, he's a liar, but he's too out of control. Like, he's not the type of person that you can constructively use and trust that he's gonna stay in line. You know what I'm saying? He just does shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, most politicians can lie about exactly. He was elected by misrepresenting himself. He wasn't elected by telling the truth. And again, yeah, politicians in a lot of ways make their careers off of lying. But again, the lies are logical. The lies make sense. You can follow the paper trail. It's a means to an end. He just lies about shit, which again is why it's so pathetic that they're like, we're afraid of the precedent that it might set. Like, what are you talking about? The fuck do you mean? Like, it'd be one thing if it was like, something totally different. I don't even know what the fuck example to give that would be good. That would be like, oh, well, maybe they would have some type of precedent with them, but maybe like, oh, so and so sold drugs when they were younger, like shit like that. Like, okay, I can see why you wouldn't want that to be a precedent for not being on a committee, like for being young and broke and having to make ends meet, or for maybe you have a history of being in gangs or something, but you reformed yourself. We don't want things like that to set a precedent for people not being able to participate in Congress, because people overcome things, and people like that are relatable. Like, oh, that's why I talk about my struggle often. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. For Promise, he just lies to lie. So it's like, what the fuck are you gonna do with somebody like this? So he is the funniest motherfucker in politics right now. I mean, like, oh my god. he not only all the lies. This asshole stole $3,000 from a fucking disabled veterans fund. Like, what? Oh god, he's such a piece of shit. Oh, but we got some more funny shit to go through. But first, we gonna watch a video. I don't know if y'all are in on the Logan Paul saga. CoffeeZilla. If you're not familiar with CoffeeZilla, he does great work. Basically, in a lot of ways, what he does is he busts financial scammers. That's mainly what he does. He holds financial scammers to account. He's really good at investigative journalism. He understands finance, and importantly, he understands cryptocurrency and how blockchain technology works. So not only does he do a good job following financial criminals and exposing them, but also he does a good job educating his audience on how it all works. And recently, he took down Logan Paul for his CryptoZoo scam, which is, not the first time Logan Paul has scammed people. Not the first time Logan Paul has been in the hot seat for something. Ultimately, Logan Paul, he'll continue to have a fan base. So like everybody who's like, oh, it's over for him. Like, I don't think so. I don't think so. He'll be all right. Logan Paul is Logan Paul is loaded. Logan Paul helped make YouTube what it is today. That motherfucker has, I mean, his career could, he's so wealthy that his career could go down in flames and his money would just keep making money for him forever. Like, Logan Paul ain't worried about nothing. I mean, he don't want to go down, but basically what I'm saying is he all right. He gonna be all right. So I'm gonna take another hit of this real quick, and then we're gonna check out CoffeeZilla's response to Logan Paul, because Logan released a number of videos, many of which were horrible. Because at first he came out and he was like, "Yo, fuck you, CoffeeZilla," and then everybody was like, "Sir, excuse me, sir," and then he deleted that and tried to come back all different. So now we'll see what's up. But first, I'm gonna take a hit. I'm trying to find a good song. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, does it? Take another hit of this shit, and then we're gonna get into this CoffeeZilla response.
Yeah, going out to my man Joey Joe, Grandmaster Supreme, and all that. My name is Diamond, yep, you guessed it. Ran 1,000 schemes and I've never been arrested. I guess I'm lucky because I'm young and I'm a black man. And intelligent, so everything is relevant. Vision is clear, don't have to wear contacts. Not a good boy, no shorts in my contract. Heat sauce and the highest scrutiny. I play Mr. Christian, just take it, because it's my destiny.
Yes, sir.
A lot of brothers keep testing me, but you haven't heard the best from me. So remember one thing. Hey, yo, it ain't no thing but a chicken.
You know what I'm saying?
So sit back and listen to the chit
Cheers, Tina. Appreciate you. So now, let's get into this CoffeeZilla response. Man, this is nothing like some classic hip hop, man. All right, let's get into it.
Well, it's finally over. Logan Paul apologized.
CoffeeZilla, you're slimy as he is a lopsided journalist with an agenda, more like an internet criminal.
Oops, wrong video. That was the first response. He actually apologized in another response.
It's like a little gnat. It's like a little annoying gnat. It bothers me. The defamation lawsuit, that is happening because this is wrong. This is wrong.
Hold on, wait a second. That's not it either. Turns out it's actually on his secondary channel. That's why I couldn't find it. It's entitled, "Thank You, CoffeeZilla." It's the third response from Logan Paul, and it's a pretty big change in Logan's attitude so far. So let's see what he has to say to us.
CoffeeZilla is not a criminal.
Oh, that's a relief. I thought Logan was going to hire me. But in all seriousness, this video does have some major admissions in it I want to go through. For one, Logan apologizes to me.
I called him. I apologized. My initial response to his series was that of fire and ego.
Not only that, Logan also pledges a $1.3 million refund plan for people who bought his NFTs.
I am personally committing 1,000 ETH to this, which is about $1.3 million.
In addition to that, he also promises to finish CryptoZoo, which was left abandoned.
And then step 3, obviously finish and deliver the game as outlined in the white paper.
Now, I'll be honest, this is a big change in tone, and honestly, a lot of this is good news. It's great that victims are going to get something back. Logan seems to acknowledge his continuous lapse in judgment. He's not suing me, which is also cool. And frankly, this new response is just way better than his last two. I think we can all acknowledge that, while also acknowledging that it's not really a perfect response either. There are still major problems here. Like, for example, many of the victims just have been ignored in this response. A lot of accusations have gone unanswered, and worse, Logan still seems to be playing the victim a lot. So in this video, I'm going to do my best to give Logan credit where credit is absolutely due, while also
You can't fuck around with CoffeeZilla, man. Because again, he even willing to, okay, I'll give you a little bit of credit, but regardless, anything that Logan Paul does, you know, in terms of making the victims of the CryptoZoo scam whole, is because CoffeeZilla exposed him. Like, I mean, that's going to be hovering over his head. Like, what, would you not have done it? Because he didn't say anything until all of this came out. He was dead silent, and Coffee's reporting exposed that Logan really tried to keep this on the hush and keep it on the low. So it's like, you know, you can't get off the hook for that. But hey, but again, like I said, despite all of that, Logan Paul is he ain't going nowhere.
sharing moments where I think this apology fell flat. And let me start with a positive. For example, I think if you're an outsider who is not affected by this scam and you wanted a reason to love Logan Paul again, I think this nails it. I mean, he's giving back some of the money, he's apologizing. So if you're a card-carrying member of the Low Gang, you can rest easy here. Logan says he's sorry, he says he's making things right, and I think that's the point of this video, is to speak to his core audience, to tell them he didn't scam anyone, and for what it's worth, I think Logan succeeds here. The problem is, I don't think I or the CryptoZoo holders were who Logan was really addressing here. And this is where the response falls more flat, because he doesn't adequately address the real victims of CryptoZoo, which I think they're rightfully angry about. And I wanted to spend some time talking about that because, again, they've been the heartbeat of this whole story, and they feel very differently about this response than Logan's core audience does. They don't feel like it's enough. And I want to talk about why. Starting with the $1.3 million repayment plan, because obviously this is the strongest part of Logan's entire response, actually opening up his wallet. And I don't want to minimize that in this video. I just do want to put it in context, because $1.3 million is a lot of money. Unfortunately, the scam was much bigger than $1.3 million. So the fact is, most victims are not going to be made whole by this plan. Just in Zoo Coins alone, blockchain evidence shows $7.7 million was stolen by Logan's team, depending on who you believe. And this refund does nothing for those victims. It doesn't even apply to the holder of Zoo Coins at all. You get nothing if you bought this in-game currency. This refund only applies to current egg holders. So they can cash out that NFT for the initial mint price in crypto, which matters sort of because crypto has crashed a lot. So even though people spent $2.5 million on these eggs, in order to refund all these holders at mint price, it now only costs $1.3 million in today's money, which again is nice, but doesn't do enough because the Zoo Coins were most of this scam. I mean, that's where most of the money was spent. It wasn't just on the NFTs. It was on this in-game currency, which Logan seems to have no intention of refunding. And his response for why is pretty bad. He responds to somebody who lost $80,000 who told him, "I hope this isn't just doing what you have to do technically to not get sued." Logan replies with a screenshot of his white paper and later explains to another member of the Discord, "I believe there has been a misconception here. As outlined in the white paper, Zoo was created to support CryptoZoo and was not intended to be an investment vehicle. When you sold or bought is not my decision." And look, to be fair to him, there was a misconception that Zoo was an investment vehicle, but it's a misconception that he created. I mean, he's the one who said CryptoZoo was a fun game that earned you money, and how it earned you that money was that your NFTs earned you Zoo tokens. You know, things that were supposed to have value. That was the whole point of the game. So to suggest that these coins weren't advertised as valuable or an investment vehicle is insane, especially since Logan's own team had rules for selling based strictly on the value of said investment vehicle. Quote, rules for selling, no selling until a $200 million market cap. So I think it's fair to say if Logan's own team were buying Zoo Coins early, waiting for them to go up in value to a certain level and then selling them, that sounds like an investment vehicle, albeit a very stupid one. So
yeah, so and Tina and Matus and anybody else, you know, Logan Paul, basically the significance of this is basically the level of scamming that goes on, and especially in the crypto markets. And so he's just covering how Logan Paul did it and his response to everything. And basically what he just highlighted is he set forth $1.3 million in Ethereum, I think he said, but regardless, he's paying them back $1.3 million for the victims of the scam. But that's still short roughly $6 million or so for the victims who got their money taken. And legally, he's, you know, Logan Paul is pointing out that it wasn't technically his fault, or it wasn't technically a scam, but the issue is still that it was promoted in such a way that people believed that they would be able to profit and make money in certain types of ways. So there's conflict there in what was sold versus what the product was. So that's what's being highlighted now.
So this explanation definitely doesn't hold water, and Logan obviously just doesn't want to be on the hook for zoo coins. Instead, he just kind of wants to refund the much smaller part of the NFTs. What makes this even worse is that this refund doesn't even apply to everyone who bought these NFTs, because some of these people sold their NFTs at a deep loss thinking that CryptoZoo was over, that it was abandoned. And there's actually a way you could have tracked this whole thing, or Logan could have, and, you know, found a way to repay all the people who lost money on eggs. But instead, this refund only applies to current holders, meaning nobody who sold during the year and a half this project was abandoned gets anything back, which is a large percentage of the actual victims. And this is pretty bad. This was brought to Logan's attention by one of the people in the Discord. Joao says, quote, "Logan Paul, what will happen to the people who sold everything at a loss when the project appeared to be, quote, abandoned? Will everyone who minted be able to get that refund, or just the current owners?" Now, in reply to this, someone in the Discord said, "If you sell, you lose common investing knowledge." And Logan replies, seeming to agree with this idea, which is just kind of a terrible perspective for Logan to have when he seems to be saying that he wants to refund these people. And he's the reason a lot of these people left. And this is where Logan's new apology starts to ring more hollow. It's in all of the follow-ups after the response video, because I don't know if he can help himself from betraying how he really feels about this, because in another Discord exchange, Logan says, "Please do not put any more money into CryptoZoo," which, by the way, is quite reasonable to say. But then somebody follows up and says, "Guys, can someone explain what he said with not investing?" But rather than replying, "Oh, guys, I just meant like I don't want anyone else losing money," or, you know, "I don't want anyone else recklessly gambling," Logan replies instead, quote, "I will no longer be the scapegoat for anyone's financial decisions," which is
he can't hide who he really is, man. He can't hide it. And again, it's like and like you pointed out, you know, you came out with a little bit of credibility for it in terms of taking some responsibility, but that was only after he was exposed by CoffeeZilla. That was only after he deleted, possibly both, but for sure he deleted his original response to CoffeeZilla because it was received so badly by the public, and only after CoffeeZilla didn't respond during any of that time. He waited, and now we're looking at him going into, again, not pointing out hollow details, showing the audience Logan's character. That's what's really being shown here. And Logan Paul said he was going to sue him for defamation of character, but you can't do that when you have all of this type of shit public. You know what I mean? Like, how you going, how you're not paying back everyone all the money that they lost, and then you gonna be, "Oh, I'm not gonna be the scapegoat of your financial decisions." Like, bro, even if that's how you feel, don't say that. Why the fuck would you say that shit publicly? Like, you know, I mean, you know, granted, a lot of people may not know who Logan Paul is, but that doesn't change the fact that he's hugely famous. So it's just like, bro, like, what, you think people ain't gonna look into this? Like, he's personally just responding to people on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So again, like, he can't. And that's really the damning part of this, because you try to claim that, you know, you were duped by this. He hired a team full of criminals, right? He hired a team full of criminals for this CryptoZoo project, and then tried to spin it like, "Oh, I like, poor me, basically. I didn't realize any of it." But you're still carrying on the narrative that, like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Is a wild response for someone who's claiming to refund people, because it implies that he thinks he's the victim here. And
exactly. He's still playing like he's the victim. And the crazy thing, oh man, this video I think will end up being quite effective. And again, like Logan Paul, it's not like he's going to disappear. He's too wealthy. He can stay in people's face all he wants. This is Coffee did a really good job at just showing his character. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really did a good job with this.
It's just insane to say, as the face of this project, which got everyone involved, because I think it betrays how he feels about this situation. He doesn't seem to see anything wrong with advertising a game that will make you money, it never delivering, millions of dollars being stolen by criminals he hired. And then when all of those people want their money back, he feels like he's the scapegoat. Like, oh, these guys shouldn't have believed me when I advertised to them a fun game that will make you money. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, Logan had a simple job to do. All he had to do was just come out, apologize, get as much money back for the victims as possible. But he himself can't help but play the victim here. In fact, I have a third example of how Logan might really feel, because Logan tweeted right before this response. He says, quote, "The Matrix is real. Pray you never become its target."
I mean, what a fucking dipshit. And that's the crazy thing. Look, you know, like, I understand being expressive, you know what I'm saying? But when you're caught up in scandal for fraud or scandal for anything, just shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, just shut up. It's like, what? The Matrix is real. You are tying yourself to people like Andrew Tate. You know, even if you're someone at this point who still supports Andrew Tate, you got to realize that when it comes to PR, that's a bad look. So it's like you come out and now you're tying yourself. You feel me? You're tying yourself to people like Andrew Tate through your rhetoric, even if you're not directly saying it. You're making people symbolically put you two in the same box, right? Just with this. And then again, it's the victimhood. It's like, oh, I'm become a target of the Matrix. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like, Logan Paul is wealthy. Like, he is immensely wealthy. You know, like, you're not the target of the Matrix. People are on your head because you were the face of a scam that got exposed. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, get the fuck out of here.
Now, I guess he's trying to channel Andrew Tate here unsuccessfully. Basically,
bro, I hadn't even seen this. I hadn't even watched this video all the way through. And he just said what I said. Like, instantly, anyone who sees that is going to think about Andrew Tate. I hadn't even seen that shit. But again, it's like, what the fuck are you thinking?
He's saying like, I'm getting attacked, not because I did anything wrong or scammed anyone. I'm just too much of a truth teller. I'm just an enemy of the system. That's why I must be getting attacked. But if that's the case, we then have to wonder, did the Matrix force you to apologize? Did it force you to hand back 1.3 million? I just think comments like this go so far to undercut his apology, because it's very clear that instead of actually like caring about the victims, he feels like he's a victim. I mean, he's saying like, oh, pray you never become its target. Who's the Matrix though, Logan? Like, is it your fans who got robbed? Who are the agents coming after you? I know it's not me. I know you're not saying I'm the Matrix here in my $10 million studio, because after all, you're thanking me. You're thanking the Matrix. Like, what is this response? It's so childish the way he speaks about this stuff. And again, this isn't to be dismissive of Logan's actions if he follows through, because there is a lot of good that 1.3 million can do. And you know what? If he goes back and he finishes the game, that's also good. But it's just so frustrating when the good that Logan seems to be doing, he's doing the bare minimum of at the last possible second, with motivations that seem to be, in the proper context, to say it lightly, irreparably tainted by self-interest. Now, I'm not going to address Logan's other two response videos, which are mostly like attacking me, because Logan sort of walked those back now. He's apologized. He said he was going to delete them. I think he deleted one of them. The other one's still up. I don't know if the impulsive episode's going to go down. Either way, it's just much less interesting now that he says he doesn't like mean it anymore. He's not going to sue. So I don't feel the need to publicly defend myself. If you're curious about all the wild stuff that was wrong in those first two responses, I'll put the video live on my Patreon, but I didn't want to release it at the time because I thought there was a better chance at getting a good ending for the victims here if I was a bit more diplomatic with Logan at this critical juncture when he was deciding whether he was going to give money back or not. I don't know if I succeeded in moving the needle, but that was certainly my intention. Either way, now that Logan has responded with his plan, and I've given my perspective on how much I think it's rooted in, self-interest versus a genuine, attempt to help out the victims, I think this is about as much as I'm going to be able to contribute to this situation. I mean, I do think it's incredible that even $1.3 million came of this, while I also can acknowledge that it's not nearly enough for the real victims of this. I'll follow up in the future to make sure that he actually gives that money away. But for now, I think most of the CryptoZoo victims, if they're still hungry for justice, are going to have to take it up with Logan in ways that are different than I can do on YouTube here. Which, by the way, I think some of them are. In fact, I just saw a lawyer on YouTube, Attorney Tom. He's going to start the legal process going after Logan, using stuff like the arbitration clause in their terms of service. So I just wanted to say, if you're a victim of CryptoZoo, you can check out that video, which I'll link to you if you want, or consult with a lawyer, because I'm sure for the people who lost a lot of money, this is certainly not the end for them, because they didn't get a full refund, and I'm sure they'll be seeking one. But even though it's not the end for them, it is the end for me for now. This is the end of the CryptoZoo saga, and I wanted to say and give a huge heartfelt thank you to everyone who viewed this and supported me throughout this. It's been insane, the level of support when Logan was threatening us, and I do not take it lightly. There is an alternate universe where if that hadn't happened, Logan would feel emboldened to sue me and probably not give much back to the victims. So it's your support that made all the difference and got the victims at least something.
And that is true. You know what I'm saying? Like, because again, Logan Paul's initial response was basically like, I'm going to sue you. You know, you got me fucked up. But, you know, I've pretty much said what I've had to say about my this response. Coffee, he does really good work. And like he said, it's not even like he was hawkishly focused on Logan Paul. You know, that's really not the case. He, CoffeeZilla investigates all types of people, especially in crypto right now, because there's just so much fraud. Even still, you know, that still isn't over. So now we're going to get into a funny story about a woman who basically, she's suing a bar because, well, she got so drunk, right, that she ended up running into a home and like exploding something, and it, you know, ended up causing several houses to burn down. And she's going to sue the bar. Like, you didn't tell me that if I drank a whole lot of fucking alcohol, I was going to be drunk off my ass. Like, okay. It's not your fault. You know what I'm saying? It's not because of you. You're the victim. Oh my God, let me pull this shit up, man. People are funny. I'm pretty fucking blowed if you can't tell. All right, let's fucking... Woman sues bar. There we go. We go check it out. But first, I'm gonna take another hit of this, and then we gonna get into this woman. Like, people are crazy, man, because she got sent to jail in 2021. So it's like now she's like, oh, fuck, I gotta get out of here some type of way. Oh, I know, I'll blame the bar. Oh, okay. The bar where I got an intoxicant. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Hopping off the jet, more money to invest. I gotta have fun, business never neglect. Niggas know it's the gang, they never disrespect. $250,000, I put that on my neck. Wanna come at my ride, you better come correct. My niggas down the slide, I put that on the set. No fucking up the vibes, good push in the air. My hand is on her thighs, get money everywhere. Conduct myself like a player. Niggas say what I should do, but I don't give a fuck, I don't care. Talking and be about it. A pound of push, you won't see me without it. My weed is listen, I put that on game.
I'll check that out, the Attorney Time video. Thanks for letting me know about it, Lynn. I will check that out. Woo. Now let's get into this woman. Let's get into this lady. What the hell she talking about? Okay. Woman sues bar after getting so drunk she blew up a $10 million home. She was so bombed she blew up a house. Oh, I like that. That's a nice, that was a thoughtful intro. Tip of the mug to you. I like that. A Canadian woman who caused $10 million in damages after driving drunk crashed into a house and causing an explosion is now suing the concert venue that provided her alcoholic beverages, as she claims the owners are to blame. Let's see what's up. Let's see her rationalization. The car bomb fiasco occurred in August 2019 while Daniela Lee's 26 was driving home from a Marilyn Manson concert at the Budweiser Gardens Arena in London, Ontario, the CBC reported. After drinking at the show and getting behind the wheel, Lee's crashed her Ford Fusion, registered to her father, into a brick home at 450 Woodman Avenue, rupturing a gas line and triggering a massive explosion that destroyed 4 houses. That's some movie shit, and injuring 7 people. God damn, that's extreme. Falling embers led to blazes in several homes nearby, and the entire neighborhood had to be evacuated, with gas and water service shut off in the area. All told, the blast reportedly caused damages in the neighborhood of $9.8 to $14.7 million. Okay, let's check out. Damn. Sheesh. Hell nah. Oh, yeah, right. She was bringing it back. Let me get this damn advertisement off the screen, whatever this is. Oh, shit. But damn, look at that. She hit a fucking gas line. Them houses is destroyed. Looked like a fucking bomb was dropped on it, for real. Damn. All right. The financial impact of Miss Lisa's actions have been enormous, with a total damage estimate approaching $15 million, Judge George Orsini told the court. Meanwhile, victims included 2 police officers and 2 firefighters who suffered numerous injuries, with one firefighter forced to spend more than a week in a hospital before being discharged. Okay, that's Miss Lee's. Lease subsequently pled guilty to 4 counts of impaired driving and was slapped with a 3-year prison sentence in 2021. However, the Canic, whatever that means, the Canic wasn't about to throw away her shot at easing the financial strain. Oh, okay, I see. So that's what she was going after. This month, she and Father Sean Lease filed a lawsuit against Ovations Ontario Food Services, the company that distributed the hooch. I like that. The hooch. That's what they call in the alcohol. The hooch. Now you got to say it. You got to say it in your country boy voice. The hooch. They claim that the libations purveyor, they're using all types of words I don't typically use. Jesus Christ. They claim that the libations purveyor shares liability for the blast on the grounds that staffers ejected Lease from the venue while failing to take steps to ensure she would not drive home. You're not going to win that case, bro. That's the best y'all could come up with. She was fucking slammed and like they kicked her out, and then they didn't play her dad, play her parent. Like, you're not going to win that. In addition, Lease also, damn, look at that. Look what Jesus Christ. In addition, Lease also alleged that Ovations had served her alcohol while aware that the bar goer was intoxicated, accusing them of putting profit over safety, and that the resulting damage was caused or contributed to the negligence, breach of duty, breach of contract by the bar. Now, all the argument against that has to be, you know what I'm saying, is, oh, that's not our responsibility. That's your responsibility. Boom. That's it. That's the argument. We're a venue. We serve thousands and thousands of people over time, and everyone's not leaving and fucking causing explosions. That's their argument. That's their defense. You know, it's really not more complicated than that. As reparations, they believe that the booze distributor is responsible for any awards or judgment amounts resulting from multiple court claims levied against them by Woodman Avenue victims. That is, if the father-daughter duo is required to pay any amount, then they are entitled to contribution and indemnity from Ovations. I mean, they're not going to win that shit, man. Yeah, no, they're not going to win that shit. Yeah, right, exactly. Like, you know, like it's not, and two, like, let's be serious. Like, I'm 30 years old, right? I'll be 31 on the 31st of this month. And I know when to stop drinking. And she was 26 at the time. And, again, like shit happens. I know she didn't, try to do that. Luckily, no one was killed. But I mean, just in terms of like a legal argument, it's like, nah, millions of people get drunk every day and they don't do that, When I'm fucking smashed, I don't even get like dumb smashed anymore. That doesn't happen. Like I get to a certain, I'm big motherfucker. You feel me? Like I'm 6'6", like 215, 220 pounds. I float in between there. So I can do a lot of anything. I go to the bar, I'm taking 4 or 5 shots of tequila back to back and I'm all right. You feel me? But once I get to a certain level, like I don't keep drinking, if I'm so again, when it comes to a legal argument, that's all they gotta say. That's all they gotta say. So